выезжает вперед Кастер. И пробитие команды Eclipse.
Hello and welcome back to week number 5 here in the WGL APAC region. Of course, my name is Jordan Mays, and joining me as always is Alex Blakey. Now, Alex, yesterday we had an amazing day coming out yesterday, and I want to see another day like yesterday. But on the same token, I don't know if I'd be left with a voice after today if we had a repeat of what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I noticed you came in today and you were sounding a little bit husky.
Yeah.
And so I think you're right on that one. Another 3 tiebreakers like we had yesterday would definitely, well, that would be trouble. But it would be good tanking if it was, if it was tiebreakers to the standard that we saw yesterday. Of course, some of those matches were absolutely fantastic. B Gaming taking EL Gaming to a 5-4 tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And just coming so close within just an inch of winning that one. It was so hard to watch B Gaming end up losing it, but
yeah. It almost felt like they were going to win that one there up against EL Gaming, but there was, of course, a couple of other interesting results from yesterday. We did see Twist and Goldbass go the way of Goldbass, which I suppose was pretty expected. Although we both said Twist to win, but they didn't manage to pull through with their form from last week into this week. And the other 5-4s going the way of Dark Wolves and Karen Tiger.
Yeah, well, the 5-4 there again. The Coalitions are a little bit surprising that they ended up losing that one out to the Dark Wolves. Karen Tiger, though, when they took on the Horsemen, we were expecting a somewhat close match, but Karen Tiger almost getting the upset a little bit. Although the Horsemen, they have been a little bit off peak in terms of form recently. But I think yesterday they did show in that 5-4, they showed some standard Horseman play, which was good to see. So they should be, moving in towards next week and the week after, they should really be able to kind of keep on improving and keep on getting back to their old, really top form selves.
Yeah, I mean, they had that week last week, which was just a little bit strange. They didn't play to their usual style. But I mean, if you have one week where you dip in the middle of the season, it's probably not a big deal, especially if you're sitting up towards the top of the rankings anyway, or at least safe from the mid-season eliminations.
Exactly. The mid-season eliminations, actually, well, next week is when we're going to be saying goodbye to the bottom 4 teams of our competition. So why don't we take a look at who those bottom 4 teams will be. And unfortunately for Goldbass, yesterday sealed the deal for them.
Yeah, I mean, even though they were able to pick up their victory over Twist 5-1, Dark Wolves, of course, managed to grab themselves some points yesterday as well, and that's put themselves clear of that potential 9th position, which was always going to be difficult for Goldbass to get out of.
Yeah.
But basically yesterday just sealed the deal there. So the bottom 4 teams going through to the mid-season eliminations will be Goldbass, Epic Gear Profit, Run, and Twist.
There we go. But as we can see, the middle of the ladder is still fairly close. Meltdown on 22 and then Dark Wolves on the 15. So really there's only 2 wins in it between the 2nd and the 8th place teams. So competition is really heading up here. And today we might see Meltdown extend their lead. We might see the middle of the pack, Karen Tiger and co, pick up some points if they're lucky. If they manage to play really well in their match today, but lots of good tanking coming up, that's for sure.
There definitely is a lot of good tanking coming up today, so we'll have a look and see what exactly we're going to be going about throughout today. Run and Goldbass to start us off, and then Twist and Meltdown, as you mentioned. Good opportunity there for Meltdown to really pick up probably some easy points.
Yeah, look, that one's going to be an interesting one, obviously. Really heavily favoured. Meltdown and Twist haven't won so far.
Nope.
So it's going to be tricky for Twist. But, look, I'm definitely hoping that they can pick up some points in that one. Then, of course, we've got Team Efficiency and Epic Gear Profit. I think Team TE definitely favoured to win that one. And then our last match of the day, EL Gaming going to be taking on Karen Tiger. And I think the question for that match is going to be whether Karen Tiger can show the same level of ferocity and skill that B Gaming showed yesterday against EL.
I mean, another question I think I have about that one is whether or not EL just yesterday had a bit of an off day sort of thing, and
I wonder,
maybe didn't quite play as well as they probably usually do, and they'll come back today having had a night off and just had a bit of a chat about what went wrong, and they'll come back in here and just absolutely demolish Karen Tiger. So we'll have to wait and see how that one turns out later on tonight. But getting on into our first matchup for today, it's going to be Gold Bass and Run. First off, Gold Bass probably looking like the favourite into this one.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe to say. Gold Bass, look, they're sitting on 9, so they are sitting above Run at the moment, but they've had a very rocky season so far. And
yeah.
I mean, we've seen some bursts of excellence from some members of Gold Bass. You know, Larissa played very well in the past. We've seen Hypo make some big plays. So they definitely have a few members to look out for.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just always comes down to whether they can actually gel as a team well enough and make the right calls. Because they've definitely got the individual skill. There's no doubt about that. Although against Run, this should be an opportunity for Gold Bass to face obviously one of the lower placed opponents in the league, the weaker.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say opponents in the league, Run, but that doesn't mean Run's going to give it to them.
Definitely doesn't. Run, of course, their opponents for this one. Currently not sitting too well in the ladder. They're down at number 11, yeah. So not having the best of times.
Yeah, look, Run, they've got a couple of really fun players in their team, and they do pull off some interesting strategies sometimes. Matchy HK, we always kind of zero in on him as one of the ones to look out for and Run. And Matchy HK is actually one of their much younger players on the Run line, for those that didn't know. So they've got quite an age gap in their team. They've got Matchy HK, and then I think the oldest member of Run is like double his age or thereabouts. So quite a mixed spread of members in their teams, and it's great to see. I think you know, lots of these teams, it is the same, whether they have a really wide mix of players from different countries, different ages, a really good mix. So it's great to see them all getting in there and playing some really good World of Tanks.
Yeah, definitely. And well, almost about to get underway here, Alex. I want your prediction to start us off.
Oh, well, okay. So we've got. I'm instantly going to go for the Run, by the way, because I picked a mouse in FV4005. But just quickly, on this match, right, I think that it's going to be an upset to Run. Like, honestly, my prediction for this entire match is going to be Run are going to 5-3 Gold Bass. It's going to be close. The Run are going to have to try hard. But, yeah, 5-3.
I'm going to flip that on its head, go 5-3 to Gold Bass.
Okay. But, honestly, looking at this, I'm liking what Run's picking here on Ruinberg. We've seen Mouses work on Ruinberg before. FE4005, if they can play it, it can definitely work on Ruinberg. On the attack, you know, the Bat Chats, nothing wrong with the Bat Chats. The T62A is a tank which, to be quite honest, I'm trying to struggle to remember.
We don't usually see it in APAC. It is picked a little bit more internationally, but not here in our region.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of any matches where we have seen it in our region, but I am really struggling. Maybe in the first week
I think we
saw it picked a couple of
once
times.
or twice.
Once or twice,
yeah.
Exactly. But, well, Run going to be going with that, although I think we should definitely focus on the Mouse and the FE4005 in this matchup. Of course, for those that don't know that Mouse, the giant, big, lumbering, heavy Tier 10 German heavy tank with the most hit points in the game, of course. And the FE4005, the British Tier 10 tank destroyer with a gun that can deal the most damage of any TD gun in the game. So some pretty impressive guns on the field and tanks on the field there for Run. So that's what I like to see. They're you know, expanding their horizons a little bit, and at the very least, we're going to see some interesting tanks.
Probably a one flag push coming out from them, you would think, with that sort of a lineup.
Yeah, I think a one flag push wouldn't be too bad. You know, they should be able to get on towards that one flag with their mouse and maybe use their FE4005, either put it at the back of the one flag sort of road, if you will, leading up towards the one flag. So, you know, he might be sitting there and the road's going right up there, got the flag there, and some of the members of Gold Bass sitting up in the little buildings right there. We have seen previously some really good FE4005 play on Ruinberg. It is rare though, you know. So it's hard to play well.
Definitely doesn't seem to have had much success on Ruinberg as opposed to Himmelsdorf, which, you know, again is a little bit hot and cold there for the FE4005, and I suppose that's just the nature of the tank, really. But on Ruinberg, I don't think I've actually seen it succeed, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, but I'm kind of struggling a little bit there. I think to think of too many times when it has succeeded there in Runeberg. But the T-62A as well, obviously that Soviet Tier 10 medium tank, you know, it's got the, I think, 100mm gun on it, decent damage per minute, about 2.9 thousand. And, you know, it's got a fairly good gun on it. That's you know, one of the reasons why you pick the T-62A. But interesting that they've kind of gone for that over the Object 140, which in many respects is quite similar.
Yeah, so, well, how do you feel about this one? Do you think it's going to go the way of Run?
Ooh, I definitely think it's going to go the way of Run this first half here because
Yep.
I just like their lineup a little bit better. Yes, Golbass have the FE215Bs, but we've seen FE215Bs come apart before, you know. And for example, if that, you know, if the 4005 can get one shot onto the grill, you know, then literally that will be see you later grill.
Yeah.
You won't need two shots. It will just aim into the grill, bam, Hesh shell, 1800 damage. See you later. So in that respect, if he manages to do that, or if he manages to target maybe some of the bat chats on Golbass as well, then that will work very well.
Alrighty, so you're going to run 1-1 overall, or are they going to be able to pick up the second half?
I think this might be it might be a struggle for Run to win the defensive side here on Rurenberg. From memory, Golbass are pretty decent at it. I guess we'll find out. So I'm gonna call 1-1.
Alrighty, well, moments away from finding out how this first one will start off. I think I'm going to go 2-0 to Run here to start off on Rurenberg. Just seems they're a little bit more comfortable to be, or being on Rurenberg than Golbass seem. It is also Run's pick as well, so take that into consideration.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But well, I guess we'll see how that plays out. Right now, though, we are going to be seeing the guys rolling out. Cud in that T-62A, of course. For those that don't know, it does have one of the lowest alpha damages on its gun of any Tier 10 medium tank, but makes up for it with a nice short reload time. And compared to some of the other mediums in the game, it doesn't have the highest top speed Elfish, but it does have quite good terrain resistance. So that means you can drive over some dirt with the T-62A, and it's not really going to slow down. It's, you know, you're still going to be moving fairly fast.
Rightio, well Run. Somewhat predictably playing pretty slow. Having a mouse and an FE4005 in your lineup doesn't really lead you to have sort of a rush strategy.
Yeah.
So not too surprising to see them playing quite safely here in the town.
Yeah, so HK there is going to be in the mouse. And I think Golbass, look, they have to be careful here trading it out with Run because obviously they don't know where Cognac Wine is. And in that FE4005, you can get some pretty big amounts of damage off if you're not careful. And just looking through the Golbass lineup, you know, the FE4005 will really be wanting a shot either, well, essentially on any of the bottom four members in Golbass's lineup, the TVP, the Bat Chat, the Grill, or the T54 Lightweight, because he's going to be able to go through those no problem. The FE215Bs are not going to be, really not going to be taking too much damage from a shell on that FE4005. You know, probably around about the 600, 700 mark if Cognac is managing to hit them.
Yeah, they definitely won't be his primary targets.
Yeah. I mean, unless he, again, he could load Armor Pen, could load AP, which is something that these guys haven't seen them do so far, and of course that means that if you load AP and a Grill walks into your firing line, then you miss out on a kill.
You'd be a bit disappointed, yeah.
Yeah, so it's always tricky. But right now, I'm going to be seeing Golbass, they're poised pretty well, although Hypo's in it might be a little bit of danger in that T54 lightweight, because we've got two members of Run, I think on Sun and Keith in those bat chats, fairly close to him, might be looking to push in fairly soon. So Hypo just has to be a little bit careful here, and he's got those binoculars, so he's properly set up for scouting. He'll probably be able to spot them out first.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's in a pretty dangerous position, assuming some of the Run guys move towards him, but he's going to spot them from miles away. Should be able to get out relatively okay, unless he gets tracked a couple of times in a row. But for the moment, Run just don't seem to be too keen on pushing anywhere in particular. They're just content to sit in the town.
Yeah, it's looking like it. So run, I mean, we've got 6 minutes and 30 seconds left, so they've got a lot of time to play with. Cud is now spotted in that T62A. Has to be a little bit careful. Of course, another fun fact about the T62A is that its frontal armor, or well, hull armor in general, I suppose, is not too strong in the hull. So pretty much anything, even that T54 lightweight, should be able to get through its hull. So right there, Hellkite taking a few shots, and that FE4005 just missed the bat chat. Hina can count his lucky stars as he dodges out of that one.
Cognac Wine has been spotted out now though, in that FE4005. So, Goldbass, they probably would have assumed that he would be down there somewhere, but that's just confirmation of those suspicions.
Yep. Be so funny if you just like let a blind fire shot off and did like one shot one of those bat chats or something down the line. That would have been brilliant. But Goldbass, look, they're positioned well. They just need to wait now for a run to push on towards that one flag, and I'm saying that it is going to be the one flag because Matt HK in the mouse, he's right up on it, and he has been spotted. There's not really many other options there for run to push towards.
No, certainly not, but as of yet hasn't actually managed to get himself on the cap, and he's already, well, close to half HP. That'll be about half HP gone, so for the moment, Matchy HK really not having the best of times in that mouse. Hasn't achieved a whole lot, but he's trying to angle his armor there. Not going to be enough, and as basically he succeeds in giving a free kill over to Goldbass.
Yeah, and he didn't even get himself on the cap to act as a bit of a shield. You know, if you've got a mouse, at least you can try and do that. Get onto the cap and you know, angle your tank so that its body can be used as a shield for like a bat chat.
Yeah.
Or something like that, but he didn't even manage to do that, so very, very disappointing. Run have just lost 3,000 HP essentially for free.
Yeah, now they just, well, I mean, they've only got 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to work with, and they've basically given up their front line. Cowdy Wing, I suppose, in the FE215B, a bit of a heavy prospect there for them, but it's no mouse.
No, exactly. And I mean, Matchy HK in the mouse, he did ding a lot of shells. He did ricochet a lot of shells. But at the end of the day, when you've got, you know, 3, 4, 5 members of Goldbass firing at you, you're still going to go down very, very fast. It doesn't matter if you're in a mouse or not. You know, particularly when all of these guys are going to be firing gold rounds, premium shells. So the FE215B, you know, it can get a nice amount of penetration on those gold shells, as can most of these tier 10 tanks. So it's, yeah, I'm not too sure what Matchy HK was thinking there.
Well, I'm not too sure exactly what run is going to be able to do in this one, because they've really let that timer run down quite a lot. They haven't achieved anything. They've got no map control apart from in that town, which is really just their territory as a given. And they've already lost that first tank. Cud has already taken a bit of damage as well. This is looking really quite good for Goldbass, despite not a whole lot going down this game so far.
Yeah, exactly. It just looks like Goldbass are completely in control now. And, I mean, Run, they just look a little bit scared, I guess. And just like that, they let Poltholic in that TVP unload a full clip on towards them. And they certainly don't get much in return. Like, on Sun in his tier 9 bat chat took a few shells. I think Cud in that T62A took a few shells. And really, can't just be giving that damage up for free here. And with only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the scoreboard Run, they need to go somewhere, but they're going to be going in undermanned and undergunned.
Yeah, and it's going to take forever for Cognac Wine to rotate across in that FE4005. So even if they do decide that they want to get onto this 2-cap, they'll be essentially fighting one player down, for the moment at least. They don't have that much time to play with, so rotating across here going to make things difficult for themselves, but we'll see how it starts off. OnSun does take a bit of a shot from Hypo.
Oh, Hypo's in trouble.
Yeah, he is in trouble here. He's going to be going down very quickly to those bat chats. So we're back to an even tank lineup now, 6 versus 6. Having said that, they were tier 10 traded for a tier 8.
It's only 2 minutes left. Run need to go.
Yeah, they do. I mean, but they're not.
Yeah, exactly. Cognac wine there. It looks like he's moving up finally towards that middle area of the road. But with Keith getting damaged so hard, Run essentially they're down a bat chat now until for the next 40 seconds or 30 seconds or so until Keith gets the reload out. So it's like it's not going to work if they just keep on. Keep on losing these trades to Gold Bass. Now we've got one member of Run who's one shell from death. Cud isn't looking too healthy. He's a few shots from death. They need to get onto the cap now, otherwise they're simply going to run out of time.
Yep, Cognac Wine in the FV4005. He's going to have to come up with something absolutely massive here because really, I don't know if Run are going to have any real opportunity.
Oh, Cognac Wine, he one-shot the grill!
There you go.
There we go.
Well, that's what they needed, but is it going to be enough now? Because they still have a massive HP disadvantage, about 3,000. And Gold Bass looking pretty good in this one. Only 55 seconds left to go. Even if they all go down, Helkuri's all the way over the other side of the map. He should be okay just to time things out here. Although, admittedly, it's a 1-for-1 trade at the moment. Player advantage actually favoring Run for now. How much longer that is going to last, though, because Gold Bass have still got a few tanks on the field to do some damage. 4 versus 4. Keith very low on HP, not really in the fight at the moment. And Cognac Wine in that FV4005, he's a one-shot as well. Is he going to get even another shot across? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not looking too good for Run with all of their members very, very low. Unfortunately, with Hina in that bat chat still on full HP, there's just not much that that Run can do there. So Hellcry will be taking down Cognac Wine. Gold Bass getting the first one there on Rodenberg, Jordan. Well, I don't know. I didn't call it. I thought Run were going to be able to take the one out, but they just let too much free damage. To get up
and time. Too much damage and time.
Exactly. So, it's not looking like a good start for Run. No. At all, because when you it's just simple stuff there. You don't just move a mouse out onto the cap with no backup, with no real plan.
Yeah.
And it literally did nothing. That I could have driven that mouse and done just about as much as Matt GHK did, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so that's disappointing. That is disappointing. And the fact that again Matt GHK he moved his tank on towards the point without making a block, it's like, and kind of tried to get the ricochets. You can get ricochets, Matchy, but you're not invulnerable.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Run was trying to get something from the FV4005 there early on, and they were just trying to wait for a mistake from Gold Bass, and it didn't really come. This is, pretty much where Matchy HK was throwing the game away.
Honestly, if he was 10 meters more forward and just turned his tank to the side before he dropped, then Ryan could have at least done something with that. They could have sat a bat chat on the point, and they could have moved their FV4005 to get into a firing position on anyone who tried to take that man out on the point. So a little bit disappointing, but well, at least we did get to see one shot from the FV4005. But I think, honestly, by the time it got
too little, too late.
Yeah, exactly. The grill had probably already had an impact in the game, and you're right, too little, too late.
I don't know. I don't even think the mouse was able to get a shot off. So maybe one.
I'm not too sure. Maybe one or two, but definitely not many.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, I don't think it was the tanks that were the issue. For Run, they had okay tanks, and the mouse can definitely work. We've seen 3 mouses, 4 mouses work for Meltdown.
Yeah.
On Ruinberg before Ruinberg attack, but well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how those tanks worked out in the damage stats. I guess.
Yeah, let's take a look and see how that mouse did end up going. Grill not on the top there, but the FV4005 managed to get a couple of shots off. Still though, really not ideal in the end for Run. All the damage coming just too late.
Yeah, it was just no real action taken by Run until the very last minute when they were already traded so far down. If they did committed to that one flag early on when they were actually moving on towards it, even when their mouse died, maybe they could have worked something out because
maybe.
Yeah, we can see the
mouse got 1 shot off.
The grill only got 1 shot off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mouse got 1 shot, so out of 10. So that is not the best stat there for Matt HK. But at least the FV4005 there did a nice job of taking out the grill as we suspected. But yeah, I felt as though if Run had just pushed on towards that one flag, even after the mouse died, you've got a lot of auto loaders that in that situation have empty clips. So they could have pushed onto the flag that would have been taking less damage from the bat chats that were reloading on the Gold Bass side, and maybe had a chance to push out towards Gold Bass and take the fight to them and have maybe a brawl, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly wasn't a good performance coming out at all there from Run on the attacking side. And to be fair, traditionally their attacking side on Ruinberg hasn't been all that great anyway, so not particularly surprised to see that coming out. Although I did think Gold Bass, you know, they usually have a weak defensive side on Ruinberg as well, so there would have been opportunities for Run to find something, but wasn't to be. Now moving over to the defensive side though for Run, they're a little bit better on the defense, not incredibly so, but still hopeful to see Run pick up at least one round here on Ruinberg on their choice of map.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how well they do on the defensive side. But for now, we can see that they are going to be going with some more standard picks on the Run side. And also some standard picks over there on the Gold Bass side. So both teams just kind of playing it safe here on Ruinberg. We've got Run with the 113s and the FE215Bs. You know, those Tier 10 Chinese heavy tanks and Tier 10 British heavy tanks that both really are so versatile, these tanks. That's why we see them picked. It's not particularly because they're, you know, the best tank in the game or anything like that. It's just they fulfill the most roles. They're the kind of jack of all trades. You know, like an FE215B, you can sit at the back, you can defend pretty well, you can get shots down on towards either cap. You know, you can hold its own in a brawl. That's why we see it picked. Whereas, you know, more specialised tanks like, say, the AMX 50B is great if you know you're going to be getting into a nice close-range brawl, or even a mid-range brawl, and you know you're going to be able to unload your clip on the enemy and then be able to get away. But that's why we see, you know, the 113s and the FE215Bs just so versatile for heavy tanks here on Ruinberg.
Certainly need to be versatile. Obviously, there's a lot of different sort of things that can come out of Ruinberg. It's not like Himmelsdorf where you know you're going to be getting a brawl. Obviously, a bit more options available on Ruinberg. Some teams play more of a snipey sort of style with the grills. Other teams opt to go for a brawly sort of a situation. So, remains to be seen what's going to come out of this one. But do you feel Run are going to be able to come back in and bring that 1-1?
Ooh, that's tricky. I mean, look, I don't think Run played their lineup particularly well in that last game. So maybe with a more standard lineup, they'll be able to, you know, they'll be able to hold it out and do well with it. But honestly, looking at Gold Bass, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gold Bass take this next one out as well.
No, nor would I. Gold Bass are looking pretty good in this one. And Run, understandably, didn't look all that fantastic. Gold Bass seemed to be being a little bit more comfortable here on the attacking side than Run were. They're at least making some committed movements towards one of those cap circles. Hypo, of course, hanging around towards the one cap, just making sure no one's rotating around behind there for Run. But already we have seen the Scyther in the 1390 being spotted out. Really, this is where Run has to capitalize on those spots that he's getting. If they don't, and he goes down, it's just a free tank over to the guys on Gold Bass.
Yeah, there we go. So right now, Run going to be just sitting back and towards that town. Interestingly enough, Cognac Wine in that 113 is already making a rotate over towards that 2 flag. So essentially Run have decided or called out that Gold Bass are definitely going to be going towards that 2 flag, which is seemingly what they're doing. But Run have the tanks to defend it. So I think we're going to have to see a bit of a brawl break out here on Ruinberg, Jordan.
Certainly seems that way, but 30 seconds on the clock here for Run to make their move, and they are definitely making a move this time. Thankfully, as opposed to what they did on their attacking side, now they're going to have to get those resets across, and it actually seems like Gold Bass are moving off that cap circle and taking the fight right into the town there. Poltolic is going to start off onto the Scyther. Good there for Gold Bass, but they did lose a fair amount of HP in doing so. They're really going to have to trade back well, because now the guys on Run are starting to get involved. Those rotations have come across. They are being held off quite well, though, by the 113 in that hull down position. Hypo, still hanging around on that 1 cap, is being a bit of a pest as well for Run. He's going to have to be dealt with sooner or later. At the moment, Gold Bass have lost their first tank, but look at how many low players they have. You've got to feel that Run maybe could have been a little bit better on their focus fire.
Yeah, potentially. It's not looking good for Run right now. They need to close out some of these kills. And it just doesn't look like they're going to be able to. But there we go. A couple more go down Run with 4 tanks left. Gold Bass with 5. And as Gold Bass get taken down, it's going to be another one going down on either side. It's all happening here on Ruinberg.
Cud in that bat chat. Not sure how many shots he's got left, but Larusia will at least get one more off. It seems like Cud now is going to be on that reload. It's all down to Hypo and Poltolic in a 2v3. And despite the fact that Hypo's been sitting on that cap for a while, it's still got 70 seconds left. So you could probably argue that he might have been a little bit more useful coming over to the actual fight and getting involved, especially considering he's in a bat chat. Maybe if he was in something like RU251, which might not have the highest of an impact in a brawler situation, you could perhaps argue that he should have stayed on the cap here. But in a bat chat, I feel like he might have been a little bit more worthwhile getting those 6 shots off. But we'll see how this turns out. He's got Poltolic in a tier 10 bat chat, but Poltolic now finding himself only with, well, 1 shot worth of HP remaining. It's not going to be an easy situation. He's trying to be that flying tank we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, he's giving it a good crack, but not going to be able to, I don't think, because coming around the back of this flag here is going to meet Cud, and it's looking like Run should be able to take these guys out. A Batchat AP versus a normal Batchat. Well, we know who wins that one. Well, on paper at least. And it should be Cud.
I think Cud might have run out of shots now.
Might have, actually. Yeah, well, it's looking like it. But now the issue for Gold Bass is they have to deal with 2 almost full HP Run members. County Wing in the FV215B is going to come around there easy as you please. Should be able to take out Hyper with 1 shot. There we go. And, well, Run evening it up. I didn't think they could do that there, Jordan. But, well, they proved me wrong in a pretty nice display of defense. I think they called the rotate early towards the flag. They got ready and just took the brawl and won it, essentially. And like you said, that Batchat AP that was sitting on the 1 flag, not contributing at all, you know, that makes it a 7v6, and well, at the end of the day, you're going to lose a 7v6 if you're the 6.
Yep, you're absolutely right. But let's go back and look and see what went wrong there for Gold Bass, because maybe it wasn't just quite down to having that AP on the cap. I think there was a few other things that maybe didn't go their way.
Yeah, well, let's have a look. So they did get the first kill on the AMX 1390, which wasn't a big thing. But here we can see that some of Run were in the town and quite kind of hard to shoot. Obviously, Gold Bass.
Keith also got a free reload off as well.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't even been punished at all.
Yeah, no, that was definitely an issue there for Gold Bass. And obviously moving from the 2 cap to the town, I think Run were able to get some good punishing shots off on towards Gold Bass. It's Poltolic there with the airtime. So I think yeah, like Run by this point it was pretty much over, of course. Cud going down. And I think Run, I mean, they didn't play particularly anything super amazing in terms of defensive strategies. They didn't do any flanks. It wasn't anything like that. It was just a nice, simple defense of the 2 flag that won them that. And I did like how some of the Run mediums moved towards the kind of lower building area on the street in the middle, around that kind of G line area, somewhere around there. But that definitely worked for them.
Right, well, I think the post-battle stats might paint a bit of a picture here for us.
Yep, Run up the top. No surprises with Cud in his Batchat up there, 4.4k damage. And Matt HK 2.3k.
See, Hypo there actually got the most damage for Gold Bass. But he was one of the 2 surviving members.
Yeah.
And didn't have an impact in that first fight at all.
Yeah.
All that damage comes in the last minute or 2 of the game. So it's irrelevant damage.
Yep.
Completely irrelevant damage.
You're dead right there, I think. So it looks good on the scoreboard, but, well, it doesn't look good when you lose, I guess. So 1 apiece after Ruinberg. And next up, of course, we're going to be moving over to Himmelsdorf, I think. So Himmelsdorf, obviously a much different map than Ruinberg, you know. We see a much more brawl-focused lineups coming in. Not many of the mediums that we do quite often see there on Ruinberg. But tell us about the stats, Jordan.
Well,
What do
I
the
mean,
stats say about both teams?
across the board, the stats don't look very good for both these teams, which is obviously not particularly surprising considering they're number 8 and 11 on the standings at the moment. But
Yeah, 9-11, yep.
9 and 11, whatever they are. Nothing particularly fantastic, really, is what I'm trying to get to. Himmelsdorf, they both play it a fair bit, but neither of them plays it very well. So I'm expecting we're probably going to be seeing a bit of a scrappy game coming out here.
Oh, wow. Shots fired there by
not really.
Mr. Jordan. So I think here...
When they have, a 20% win rate and a 14% win rate, I don't think you can make an argument that they're very good on Himmelsdorf.
Oh, they just haven't been trying well enough, hard enough. And I tell you what is up with these Korean teams on Himmelsdorf going with the double TDs? We're seeing it again. And yeah, with Goldbass going for the FV215B183 and the T110 E3. So, yeah, I'm not really too sure about that. Particularly because the T110 E3 I hate.
Yeah.
in competitive play, there's very few maps which I think actually lend itself to the T110 E3, where it's like markedly better than, well, anything.
Yeah.
Any tank destroyer, T110 E4, you know, something like that. Even an IS, if you want a nice, strong, hull armored tank. But T57 even. But I do like the FV215B183 pick there by the Goldbass, because if we actually looked on the other side, on the run side, they had the T54E1, right? Which, again, I'm not sure why we've seen the T54E1 picked twice this weekend. There's a very good reason that it doesn't get picked in the Gold Series, Jordan.
Yeah.
It's because it's just not that good of a tank. It doesn't really have any particular armor that is going to ricochet anything, because it's a tier 9 and it doesn't have, you know, tier 10 grade armor.
No.
The turret, yeah, it's okay for its tier, but when it's going up against every one of these tier 10 tanks that's firing, you know, premium shells, 330 average penetration on lots of these guns, thereabouts, it just doesn't hold up to it. And the T54E1, it's not like the Batchat. The Batchat, it's just a tiny little tank. You know, very small profile. You can kind of glide along and you can't really see it, you know. Then the T54E1, it's like,
yeah,
you know, it's got the huge turret on it. It's got the big armor. It's not as fast. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just roll around the corner with my 4 shots and my bad autoloader. So
wow.
Anyways,
Shots fired at the T54E1.
Shots fired.
Anyway, Himmelsdorf here. Hard to call how this one's going to go. Neither team's very
One
good.
team's got a T54E1. It's easy to call. That team's
No,
going to lose.
overall, 1-1, 2-2, 2-0,
Well, if
whatever.
they pick the T54E1 again, then I think they're going to lose. But this one, definitely, I'm going to be looking in Goldbass. Even though they've got the T110 E3, which, again, I'm not a fan. You can probably tell I'm not a big fan of lots of these
Which
American
tank do you
tanks.
dislike more? That's the real question.
Well, the T54E1,
Right.
because its gun has like mid 250 millimeters penetration with AP. You know, I think it's about 255 millimeters penetration. So when you're going up against lots of these tanks, that just doesn't cut it on Himmelsdorf, when they can angle their armor. It means you're going to essentially bounce a lot more shells than you would in something like a Batchat, something like a T57 heavy even, or if we're going tier 9s, like a T10, even an ST1, you know.
Alrighty, well, let's see how those tanks turn out here. It looks like Himmelsdorf about to get underway. I'm going to go 1-1. I think that's the safe pick, but really,
1-1.
it's very hard to call.
Yeah, 1-1. Safe, I guess. I can go with that. But right now, I'm going to be seeing everyone heading up the hill on the Goldbass side, which is interesting. And Q-Me just firing off a fun little shot in towards the air there. But we have been seeing this hill push coming out quite a bit over the last weekend.
I don't mind it when they've got 2 tank destroyers. I think it's relevant when there's 2 tank destroyers.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And, I mean, look, I guess the T54E1, yeah, it's going to be able to go through the Batchat, but there is no Batchat. So, like, it's going to struggle to pen the E100's front. It's going to struggle to pen the E3. It's going to struggle to pen the FE215B183. Maybe it'll be able to go through the front of the AMX50B easily enough, but Yeah, definitely an issue. But right now, these guys on Golbass are going to be heading down towards that 2 flag. I like where Cud's positioned, though, on the 2 flag. It's going to mean that Hypo, when he goes down that A line, essentially is going to be able to get reset very easily. So props to Cud for getting that. And they're getting some blind fires. They don't know that he's there, so this is just kind of blind spam fire coming out from... Yeah, coming out from Golbass. But the issue is now Run know that they've got tanks coming down there.
Oh, that would have been a bit nasty.
Yeah, that might have hurt, but
Pancake 1390.
Yeah, just a little bit. Don't want to be ramming that one too often, but Hypo going to be able to get himself on towards the cap. Well, he's not actually. He's playing some very, very cautiously, peeking every single corner and trying to get some spots before he crosses, which, you know, I suppose is smart in a way. He's playing it safe, but he should be able to make his way on towards the cap. And now Cud has the opportunity for easy resets.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, there's easy resets to come out, and it really comes down to Golbass now, whether or not they can punish Cud when he peaks. I dare say that FE215B183 is going to be watching that angle, along with those other tanks that Golbass have got stationed up on that A line. But
yeah, you can't hit him though, because Cud has the opportunity just to peek out and get a shot on towards Hypo, and no one that far back on the A line has the angle to hit Cud.
Right.
So he's essentially completely safe there in that AMX 1390. And yeah, it's got the base cap going down now, but until they take down Cud, there's nothing. There's no real pressure going on to Run right now.
Looks like Lauricio is going to come in here and be a bit of a meat shield, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a better idea.
Not quite though.
To at least be able to counter. Now that Lauricio is close, he can get those shots on towards Cud. Yeah. Oof. And even the AMX 1390 able to
getting involved
towards Cud. Yeah. So Cud, actually, I'm not too sure what he's doing. He should. I would have thought he could angle his tank well enough on the IS-4 to bounce those shots, but whether that's just Hypo's great aim or Cud maybe angling a little bit poorly there. He's managing, Hypo's managed to make both of those shots go through, which is surprising.
I would like to see Lauricio here just drive in front of Hypo, make it life incredibly difficult for Run to get that reset unless they come around behind, which, well, it looks like they are trying to do, and there you go, Lauricio started to move forward now, so difficult times here for Run. Only 10 seconds on that cap. They will be able to reset that E100, grab themselves maybe 1 or 2 more seconds, but Lauricio, I'm not sure why he's falling back here, and that's a free reset going over to Run. Like, why doesn't he just block the shot for Hypo?
Exactly. It would have only been 10 seconds, and there was no one from Run coming behind, so a bit of a maybe mistake there from Lauricio. And now Run, they're actually getting right in towards it, not only here, but behind, on towards the Golbass members at the kind of B9 area and A9.
Yeah, this is not looking so great for Golbass. Having said that, though, they've done a lot of damage across to Run, and now it's a 4 versus 6. We're going to be seeing Run really in a bit of pressure right now. Golbass just driving forwards with those 183s and the E100s, just trying to get that important damage across. Cowdy Wing's going to grab one, but really seems like it's almost all over here because Run just don't have that HP to play with, going up against 2 full HP E100s on Golbass.
Yeah, no, this is not looking good for Run at all. And Golbass with Poltholic there, and the FE215B should be an easy kill, but QMe takes that instead. And well, there's not too much that a low HP IS-4 can do here. Should be able to take out Lauricio, but yeah, against 2 E100s, no way that he's going to be able to get those down.
Onsun surviving on 6 HP. Not for much longer, though.
Yeah, so it looks like they are going to be going for throats there, taking down Cud with their guns as opposed to with a cap, which is a good move from Golbass. And well run. They tried to get the fight on, but just didn't really work out. Golbass proving too strong in the end.
Definitely did. Those 2 tank destroyers in pretty good positions up on the hill there in the 0 line, making life difficult, of course, there for Run. So again, nothing too spectacular coming out of that round. Just general standard play. I mean, considering the tanks that were picked, it went about as expected.
If Run had actually, like, the issue there for Run was that they had known that Golbass were pushing down the hill, right? Essentially because the AMX 1390 was blind firing Cud. So, and then Run started to rotate, right? Run started to move towards the 2 flag to defend it. But the issue was for them that even though they sort of knew that Golbass hadn't come down the banana, they'd come down the hill, Run didn't send a flank of anyone up towards the hill. And whether that was because their tanks weren't fast enough, I'm not too sure. But if they'd actually sent someone up the hill, then that could have been a perfect flank to get behind some of those tanks, you know, like getting behind the T110E3.
Well, definitely didn't go the way of Run there. Let's have a look and see what went wrong for them. Well, to start off, they didn't get the damage across that they needed.
Yeah, okay, so here we are, and Golbass, look, Golbass are in some really good positions. Cognac one, I'm not too sure what he's doing there. He's kind of out in the middle, out in the open. By this time, Run had already lost a few tanks in some pretty questionable positions, and it was really just a matter of cleanup there for Run, for Golbass on towards Run. So, and Cud in the IS4 didn't really have the best of times behind there, I guess. He took too many shots, and I would have liked to have seen him have maybe a slightly bigger impact in that position. But unfortunately, wasn't going to be happening. So Cud not going to be too high on the. Well, maybe he'll be high on the scoreboard. I'm not sure because he was there. He was alive until longest, so that often lends.
Let's find out. He's up the top.
Yeah, he's up the top.
For Run.
For Run, but that FE215B183, honestly, Jordan, we are seeing the 183 and the FE4005, we're seeing those big guns doing well consistently on Himmelsdorf. And that is quite nice to see. And well, honestly, on Sun, surprising me a little bit in that T54E1 with 1.5k damage. I'm surprised he even managed to pen that many shells, but I suppose he did come around the back of Golbass, or the side of Golbass, if you will. But the Scyther in the meantime in that tier 9 AMX, well, tier 9 Batchat, rather, dealing 0 damage, which isn't great. Hades in the T110E3 with only 1400, so again the T110E3. I mean that was like the perfect engagement for the T110E3 as well. You know, it was Run coming right down the line that it was looking down, and it still only managed to get 2 shots off effectively, two penetrating shots. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of it. But overall, a good win there from Golbass.
Yeah.
2-1 right now, and the question is whether Run can take it out in the next half here on Himmels, and I think it's going to be hard for them, you know?
Yeah, having said that, moving over to the attacking side on Himmelsdorf, usually the attacking side has a bit more of an advantage, but we'll find out whether or not they're going to be able to do it because we do have our tank lineups ready. Let's see.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We've got the TDs out again.
Two 4005s.
2 FE4005s. One on either side. Golbass going with the 183 as well. And honestly, this is what I like to see here on Himmelsdorf. A nice, fiery, explosive matchup between these two teams. So, you know, Run's lineup, honestly, I'm really liking that. They've got the E100, bit of bulk. They've got the 113s, the 50Bs, excellent brawling potential, and the FE4005. You know what the issue is going to be, though, for that 4005?
I do not.
Well, for both of them,
yeah,
is that they can shoot each other, and
really?
they can one shot each other.
I see.
They can seriously one shot each other if they get a good roll.
Imagine if they both shot at the same time and like hit each other.
Possible.
That would be so
It's
good.
possible.
That would be play of the week.
It would be play of the week, and it's very doable because the FE4005, it is literally a barn of a tank that you know, with a huge turret, so it's so easy to hit. It's not out of the question to see them shooting each other. You know, I would love to see that.
So would I. We'll have to see whether or not it's going to happen. Of course, the 183 as well on Golbass. So
yeah,
a couple of targets there for the FE4005 to go up against and potentially have a bit of difficulty against as well. But remains to be seen how this one's going to go. Let's find out.
Yes, let's. So Golbass as well, worth touching on the fact that they have Helkarai in that T110E5. Again, not a huge fan of the T110E5 to date. It has about a 35% win rate in our season, which is, well, less than spectacular to put it nicely. Spectacular. New word.
The FE215B 183 and the FE4005 have had a bit of a better time, though. I mean, we haven't seen them as much, but
that's because they're better tanks.
Both over 50% win rates.
Yeah, no surprises there. The FE4005 sitting on about 55%, the 183 on about 60%, but of course we hadn't seen them pick too much before this week.
No, we've probably doubled the amount of times they've been picked
Yeah,
just this week.
yeah, definitely. And I think they've generally done pretty well. So great to see the TDs really making an impact and doing honestly fairly well here in the Wargaming.net League over in APAC. But be interested to see other regions as well, how big of an impact the TDs have had. But here you can see the Scythe are doing a bit of parkour over in the H4 area, and it's looking like Pult Holic there for Gold Bass, sitting right back in that FE4004 looking up the B line. So if anyone from Run try and push down that hill, then he's going to throw a nice big 183mm shell into their sights.
Well, it seems like there's a couple of guys over there.
Yeah.
Though not as committed of a hill push here from Run as what we saw Gold Bass doing.
Yeah, so Gold Bass right here. He struggling a bit hyper. I'm not too sure what he's doing. But it's looking like Run. They have got one of their, well, yeah, their FE4005 up on the hill, and that's a pretty dangerous spot for it to be, at least for Gold Bass, because if Gold Bass gets spotted in a place where the FE4005 can get a shot off on towards them, then, well, if that Batchat pokes around the corner, see you later, Batchat. So Hina does have to be careful and mindful that there might be an FE4005 up there. And I thought that Run were going to push down towards the banana line, but in fact they are not. They just went out into the center, and Cud's been spotted.
Yeah, but we'll be sitting all right in that position there. So Run starting to exert a little bit of control across the map. They've managed to take that D line. Now that is in their favor, which gives them a pretty safe entry up towards that 2-cap if they decide to push through the banana, which it seems a couple of them are looking to do. But really, still a very slow game coming out here, and I guess that's to be expected. Run on the attack. We saw them on Rurenberg playing extremely slow, too slow in fact. Not too surprising to see them playing pretty slow again on Himmelsdorf.
Exactly, they're definitely not living up to their name here on Himmelsdorf for Run. And Hypo, oh no, up on the hill, Hypo's just been spotted by Cognac Wine. He might be able to get the one shot off unless, nope, Hypo's too fast. That could have been deadly there for Hypo.
Hypo does not want to be hanging around here at all, but Keith is coming along to try and catch him off as well, so it's not a great situation here for Hypo, but if he can tie up 2 of those Run tanks and the guys on Gold Bass can utilize that to have a player advantage, you know, sort of a brawl situation, maybe they are going to be able to get something out of Hypo here being caught out a little bit.
Nope, it's not looking like it.
Yeah, he's just going to get out there, okay.
Rotated the other way. And if you're Cognac Wine, maybe you should have gone down and actually pushed down the hill. Might have worked out better. That's not going to be happening. And oh no, he's taking some damage now.
Yeah, it certainly is, although not too much. And FE4005 that is alive is, of course, a dangerous FE4005 or Hypo. He's going to get out of there okay.
Oh, Hypo's so cheeky. Surprised it didn't go through, but I guess his tracks just happened to be angled all right down there. But I'm sure that FE4005 will be chasing Hypo a little bit. Has to be cautious if he pokes this. Yeah. Pokes that street corner though. So instead, not going to be doing that and Run right now. Look, they're pushed up fairly aggressively, but the issue for them is that they're not really grouped at all, so they can't mount a solid push on towards any of the flags without just getting caught out one by one by Gold Bass right now. So that they need to group up. Whether they honestly could go for a 1 flag push potentially. It's not out of the question. With Card and Cowdwing all the way over there, and then just use their FE4005 on the hill for kind of fire support on towards that 1 flag. But looking like they're going to need to do something soon though, because we have less than 5 minutes left in the round, and Gold Bass, well, they're pretty happy with where they are.
Scythe are making moves over towards that 1 cap. Maybe we'll be seeing sort of a push over there from Run. Wouldn't be the worst of decisions if the Scyther can get in onto that cap, sit behind the building, okay.
Yeah.
He's been spotted out, and he does take a bit of damage there, but he'll get behind the building safely.
Yep, perfect.
Now he just needs to sit there and hope that no one sees him, or no one actually can shoot him, rather.
Perfect bit of play there by Mr. Scyther. So he should just be able to, sit down there. Hopefully he doesn't peek. Please don't peek, Scyther. There we go. No, it looks like he was just nestling in a little bit closer there instead. So it's good to see. But right now with Helkarai sitting back and kind of ready to look down, ready to get some shots across on towards any run members that are crossing. Cognac Wine's actually come down the hill, and Cognac Wine might meet Hypo soon.
Oh, he is going to meet him, and, well, goes about as expected. Hypo, really no chance in that one.
Yep. See you later, Hypo. You've just met the FV4005. And right now, Cognac Wine does have to be careful as he's crossing that central area, because let's not forget Goldbass. They've got two of the big guns on their team as well, the FV4005 and the 215B183. So they are going to need to push on towards that one flag soon.
Yeah, it's only 50 seconds. I mean, enough time to play with here for Goldbass, but they don't want to let it get too low, which is a situation we've seen a lot of teams do, especially yesterday, if I might remind you. We've seen a kill go back in the favour of Goldbass here, so it's a 1-for-1 at the moment, though. Run have got the HP advantage. In saying that, that timer has been stopped, and now the pressure is on Run, because they've only got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to actually take out all these Goldbass members, and it could be tough.
Could be, with both teams missing their AMX 1390, so Run need to take down a lot of members in a fairly short amount of time, and I'm not too sure where Cognac Wine is or what he's going to be shooting at. He needs to move up a little bit further, I think. He's just being a little bit cautious there, though, because he doesn't know who's up the banana line. For all he knows, a few Run members might be, a few Goldbass members might be up there. But again, with 2 minutes left, Run, they really need to go right here. I'm not too sure what they're waiting for. Cognac Wine's not moving up just yet, but he needs to. Yeah. There's no way they can rotate back towards the 2 flag.
It's not going to be enough to wait for a mistake from Goldbass, because really Goldbass is giving them nothing at the moment. And Cut and Cowdy Wing now starting to push right onto Hades, but Hades is in a pretty decent position here, and he's got rotations coming across as well. His teammates coming to back him up. Strive is going to go down, but in a situation like this, Hades won't be too bothered by that at all. Cowdy Wing now, the focus of fire here for Goldbass. He's only going to survive one more shot. The T125 here of Helkurai probably should pick that up, but instead decides to put a shot into Cud. It's Hades to close out the kill. And really, this is not looking good at all for Run, because they just, even if they get a few kills here, they're just not going to have the time to do anything with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not looking good at all for Run. I think Larissa might have just been completely demolished there with the E100 picking up the final blow. But with Goldbass still having 5 members left, 1 minute left on the clock, Run are running out of time.
Oh, QME takes a shot from that 4005 of Cognac Wine, but really it didn't do a whole lot of damage in the end. So less than ideal. Run actually have got the HP advantage, but tanks definitely favouring Goldbass at the moment. In saying that, even if Run is able to take a couple of kills, still only 48 seconds left on the clock here, so you have to expect one of these tanks from Goldbass should be able to survive that long. And it's really almost no time left to cap this either for Run. I think they'd have to jump a couple of their members onto that cap straight away if they were even going to have a chance.
Yeah, well, 30 seconds left though, so...
Yeah, but look where Poltolic is.
Yeah, Poltolic is the
He's
issue,
out of there.
And the 113 needs to chase Poltolic.
Slowly.
Very slowly. Like, he's crawling up the hill, but yeah, 18 seconds left. No one's near him. And what are Cut and Matchy HK even doing? It's like, you need to go, guys. Like, they're playing that a little bit too safe there. So they will be going down to time. And it's just a bit of a shame. If they'd gone earlier, then they could have won it out. Simple as that. They were one shot away from taking down Poltolic in the FV4005 at the end there, but really just came down to time and Run not managing it well enough.
That is definitely true. Both of their attacking sides we've seen have been very lackluster. They've just sat around, done really not a whole lot, and timed themselves out essentially. So not a good start into this one here for Run. 3-1 in the advantage of Goldbass. So yeah, not too keen about Run at the moment.
Neither am I, to be completely honest. I think Run, they need to up their game on the attack right here. And I mean, look, I'm sure they made some decent plays in that game. You know, they spotted out the Amex 1390. They got the nice shot on it with the FE 4005. But I mean, need to do more than just trick shots.
Yep.
Yeah, this was the shot. So it was a great little shot there by Cognac. But honestly, even Hypo, he had a really good reaction time to get that shot on towards
definitely.
the FE 4005 before he went down. But look, right now, Run essentially they're moving up with only 2 minutes left, or only 1 minute and 40 seconds left. So it's like by that time, you know, and they're not fully committing to the fight sort of thing. They're playing it safe. They're not playing like a team that only has 1 minute left at this stage, and they need to be.
Exactly, because they did only have 1 minute left.
Exactly.
And we saw how that turned out.
Not very well, unfortunately.
Not the
Not very
second
well
time
at
today.
all. Second time. So
Really?
that's just a little bit. I mean, it's not surprising coming from Run, I suppose, because
No.
we have seen it before, right? They're a team that really struggles on the attack for a lot of maps, and I think potentially for that exact reason.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a shame that they're not really adapting, you know, to kind of change their style of play to incorporate that. Because I like quite a few of the Run players, you know. I think individually they're good tankers, but maybe if they can look at changing their shot caller, or maybe that could be the issue, just general shot calling and communication for Run.
Don't know. Do not know. But let's have a look and see who was doing the damage there, at the very least for Run.
And will be, well, look, the FE 4005 for Run,
Both
it worked out.
FE 4005 is actually
Yeah,
worked
well,
out.
exactly. Poltholic up there as well with a solid amount of shots. So they managed to get some good shots across, and obviously got lit up a little bit themselves. But that's what happens when you're in an FE 4005. So Cud up the top for Run in that 113. And I'm surprised to see the T110 E5 up the very top, but I guess, you know, he got some good shots off on the hill early on and was able to carry that through the rest of the match. But the 183 there, Larissa not really doing too much.
No, just the one shot. Now, Goldbass have started off well here, and they're going to be heading on to their second map pick. It's going to be Muravanka here. Again, not a map that either of these teams particularly enjoy playing. We've only seen both of them play it once or twice each. So, again, hard to call how this next one's going to come out.
Yeah, Muravanka here. Well, it's not a map that we actually see many teams pick at all.
Yeah,
full
exactly.
Stop. You know, lots of these teams, they don't like playing Muravanka. So, I think it will be interesting to see how these guys play it. And we're expecting, of course, lots of fast, lots of mobile tanks, lots of mediums, bat chats, TVPs, object 140s and the like. And, I mean, maybe some grills on the other side, the grill 15s, potentially. Yeah. I like the grill on Muravanka because it can sit back on the defensive side in one of the many bushes that Muravanka has, and get some good shots across onto tanks that are just peeking up over the hills. So
artillery, we've seen a couple of times on Muravanka as well.
I would love to see some arty.
Goldbass tend to pick up artillery occasionally as well, so perhaps an option.
Yeah, actually, Goldbass do. And from memory, last time we saw Muravanka, it was actually Goldbass that picked the tier 10 arty, the Object 26.
Yeah, it was Simona that was playing that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and it didn't work out too badly. They did lose.
Yeah. No, it didn't have a huge impact because, honestly, I think half the reason that it didn't have a huge impact was because Simona, with that object, initially played aggressively and
with
pushed,
the team.
Yeah, with the team, pushed really far up, but then later in the half just sat in the forest when the whole of Goldbass had rotated back around to the spawn. So there was just this lone arty sat in the forest and an AMX or a bat chat
something like that.
You know, wiped him out. So if they've learned from that, then I really think it could work out this time. So I'm really keen for an arty on the attack here on Muravanka.
I agree. I think it might not be a bad choice. I mean, especially considering how Run have been playing, which has always been so slow and steady.
Steady. you were looking for a different word.
I was looking for a different word,
steady.
but I don't know. Slow and
bad.
To be fair.
Slow and bad. Wow.
Well, when you time yourselves out a couple of times, I know we're talking about Goldbass picking it up on the attack here, but wouldn't obviously be the worst choice on defense as well. It seems like Run would just play into their hands. So let's go ahead and find out whether or not we are going to be seeing an artillery here in this first half of Muravenka. Our tanks looking like they're ready.
Well, look, I think an M40, M43 would be good, but we'll see.
Nope.
Oh, no, look, well, okay, let's take a step back. We don't have the artillery pieces here on either side, but what we do have is another one of my favorites, Jordan. Can you spot what it is?
The STB one?
No. You knew what it was.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
How could I know? Of course, the T-57 Heavy.
Yes, it was the T-57 Heavy, of course, one of my favourite tanks in the league that gets picked at the moment. Has just about touching on a 70% win rate, 68.5 if we want to get specific leading into this week. So, very, very strong tank statistically. I think it's a very, very strong tank in general, particularly on a map like Muravenka, where you can really use that strong turret armor that those American kind of heavies, well, American turrets in general, I guess, are known for to its advantage. And the T-57, it can put out so much damage. You know, it's like an AMX 50B in many respects, but just with stronger armor. Is one way to look at it, and a much stronger turret. So I really like that pick there by Goldbass. I think Goldbass looks stronger on Muravenka in general. It's a 2-0 on Muravenka. Goldbass going to take out the series on this map.
Okay. I mean, yes, statistically speaking, Goldbass are actually stronger on Muravenka.
I wasn't talking about statistics.
I know. But
I never talk about
I talk about the statistics, and they are a little bit, but really there's a very small sample size, so I'm not even going to bother quoting down the statistics there. Goldbass for me, yeah, I think they look pretty good on Muravenka when they did play it. And up against Run here, I think they're going to have enough. So I'm going to agree 2-0 for Goldbass. They've been looking okay in this one. Run have been looking less than ideal. So all things considered, for me, Goldbass 5-1 after the end of this map.
Yep. Would not be surprised at all to see Goldbass turning this one into a 5-1. But guys, you can let us know what you think is going to happen in this one on Twitter using the hashtag WGL APAC. But for now, let's get into it.
Indeed. Muravenka, not a map that we see a whole lot here in APAC, so nice to be having a bit of a change up coming out. Looking forward to see how this one turns out. Run, hopefully, with those bat chats, might be a little bit more aggressive, although they are on the defense side, so
yeah,
shall see. But definitely just don't want to be sitting them sit around and really not do a whole lot. They need to be able to take this game to Goldbass. Use that mobility of the bat chats.
Yeah. So right now, we are going to be seeing Goldbass just moving up fairly fast on towards that one flag. Run sitting back at the moment. They've got the Scyther in a 2-flag defensive position as well, down in that K7 area, and these T-57 heavies in a great spot to light up anyone that that they managed to spot. Very nice looking tank as well. The T-57 heavy looks quite modern.
It does. Sort of when you think of what a tank looks like, you think the T-57 heavy.
Yeah, I think so. But right now, Run are going to be seeing those T-57 heavies as Matt GHK gets the spot on towards them. One shot comes in from the STB one of Cognac Wine, and I think now we just have to see Run rotating on towards that one flag. And
did we just see a shot bounce off Larissa here in Helcury? Surely not.
Surely not.
Anyway, irrelevant. Getting those caps started here. Good stuff from Goldbass, just putting a little bit of pressure on Run. I mean, both the T-57 heavies have taken a tiny bit of damage, but now that they're in position, it's going to be tough to penetrate them through the front there. STB1 did have a couple of shots across, but I don't think he's got the angle this time.
No, it doesn't look like a Cognac Wine there. It's going to be a little bit tricky
if
for
he
him.
does, even, it's going to be a difficult shot.
Yeah. A very difficult shot, but look at that. We've got all of Run heading on towards the flag right there. They want to take out these T-57 heavies, but Goldbass, they've got a attack party surprising them from behind.
Well, this is not looking too good at all for Goldbass. They're going to lose the T-57 heavies with, really, one of them didn't do anything, and I think the other might have got 2 or 3 shots off at best. So that's great stuff from Run. This is exactly what I said we wanted to see. We wanted to see them take the game to Goldbass. And they've done that. And now it's down to Goldbass to really recover from that one. I don't see how they're going to do it. They need to take down Cowdy Wing, so that's good. 2 for 2 in the end. Health Pool's still favoring Run a little bit, though.
Yeah, that was a very nice push on towards the one flag there from Run's Bad Chat. Super coordinated, and I kind of saw what Goldbass were doing there with their T57 heavies, and kind of they wanted that bait to happen a little bit, but really, I mean, when you're up against a team of what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Bat Chats, like, that can happen, and 2 T57s are just not going to survive for long enough for you to get your force in as a reaction.
Yeah, exactly, and as a result, it looks like Goldbass had decided they want to rotate back across the map, but the Cypher here, I mean, admittedly, he's in a really poor position. He should get taken down here, but he's got a huge amount of information there for Run, and he's going to get a couple of shots across. That might be his last there. Hina's going to ram him in the end. But plenty of damage coming across from the Bat Chats now onto those rotators from Goldbass. Don't mind this from Run. Looking pretty good into this round on Muravanka, but Qme, let's see if he can pull up something. No, he's on the reload, so if he gets spotted out there by Cognac Wine, and it seems like he will be, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Qme right there. Oh no, he has just been spotted out, and he's on the reload, so there is not much he can do. Although, he was faking it a little bit. He's trying to fake that he actually has bullets.
Yeah, no, I think he's just trying to fake that he's almost off the reload, so Cognac Wine's just playing a little bit more passive than he ordinarily would. And really, I think that might have bought Qme enough time here to get a couple of shots off, which is definitely better than he probably could have hoped for. Only one in the end, but still, 405 damage when he really shouldn't have got any off. Not a bad result. Still, losing a tank like that from Goldbass, a little bit of an error.
Yeah, definitely, but, well, gave it a good try. Right now, though, we are going to be seeing a 4-on-4 between both of these teams, and the health pools are certainly favouring Run at the moment with 4,400 health to 2,900, as it's looking like they're going to be, Goldbass are going to be trying to push right back up against Run here and try and even that out.
These Bat Chats and Hypo there get on the cap. They might be able to put a bit of pressure onto Run, but Poltolic being spotted out there. I don't really like Poltolic being up on that hill. I think he's just playing with a little bit of fire, considering the HP that he's on.
He was baiting. Hina's going to come behind Matchy HK and should be able to get some good shots, I think. Although no, Hina's maybe backed off a little bit there, so Matchy HK doesn't know where the Goldbass have gone off to. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, and the good news for Goldbass is that they've got Run sort of trapped, if you will, in this upper left corner of the map.
Exactly. I mean, Goldbass have got control over pretty much 3/4 of the map at the moment, so wouldn't maybe be a bad idea just to have someone sitting on that 2 cap exerting a little bit of pressure, but again, then you sort of run the risk of having a player outside of the fight like what we saw on Runeberg, and that's not something you can afford in a situation like this. Hypo being quite aggressive, as he always is, trying to find those spots here, but if he's spotted out, he's going to be getting absolutely demolished. And really, I think it comes down to who spots who first in this situation.
Yeah, exactly. So Hypo right now,
he's playing with fire right now.
Has to be very, very, very careful. That AU251 has excellent spotting, of course, especially with that extra little bit of chocolate in the mix. And Hypo's actually running with those, I think enhanced suspension potentially. So making it harder for him to get tracked, which is an interesting choice of equipment. We don't always see that, but not a bad choice by any means.
Oh, and he spotted out Cognac Wine and Matchy HK, but similarly, he himself has been spotted, and, well...
See ya.
See ya. Yeah, finally coming out there, but just a little bit too aggressive, I feel, from Goldbass there, sending Hypo like that. It didn't... You know, there was no situation where he was going to spot someone that those Bat Chats from Goldbass were going to be able to shoot, so... Not so sure.
Oh, Match HK might be in trouble here. He might be in trouble. There's 2 Bat Chats right up against him. If those Bat Chats push on towards him, then... Oh, and I think... Has Onsun been spotted as well? No, but Onsun can get some good shots off.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Goldbass. They've not really found themselves in a very good position. 2 minutes and 34 seconds left on the clock. And remember, Gold Bass are on the attack as well. So they need to make something happen here. And I'd say best bet, make their way back over to that 2-cap. Put a guy on there, or put a couple of guys on the cap, and really force Run into a less than favorable position. And maybe Gold Bass can take down Cognac Wine and Keith straight away, something like that. But even then, Onsun and Matchy HK are going to have a lot of damage to... Yeah, it's tough. Tough for Gold Bass.
It certainly is. Right now, Gold Bass are going to be getting themselves on towards the cap. And actually, I do quite like this strategy here from Gold Bass because it forces Run to push in towards them. And it means that Gold Bass should, in theory, be the ones that get the first shots against Run. And with 23 seconds left, well, Run, they have been notoriously slow to react before, but it's not looking like they're going to be slow this time.
Yeah, Matchy HK leading the charge as well. That's probably pretty good for Run. He's going to be one of those guys that can get in and tank a few shots before going down. It's all down to him now, though. He has to get this reset. I don't think anyone else will get there in time. He has spotted out Polholic in the end there and should be able to aim down just in time. Actually, he wasn't the one to get the reset in the end there, but interestingly enough, Gold Bass not getting the shots across that they need. Run fired off the first couple of shots, and really, Gold Bass have lost a crucial tank here in this 3v4 situation. You can't afford to lose the first tank.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible now to find a win here for Gold Bass. Run just getting that reset, and it's exactly what they needed. Once again, Gold Bass falling off the cap and slowing things down. Hina does find Cognac Wine. I don't know if it's going to be enough here. Polholic is on the reload.
Yeah, so Hina needs to take out Keith and empty the other shell in towards Onsun or Matchy HK, but at the moment that's a miss. It's just not...
2 misses.
It's not even physically possible right now for Gold Bass to deal enough damage to take down Run in one clip worth of their auto loaders. So unfortunately for Gold Bass, they will be losing out this one here on Muravanka to Run.
Yeah, perhaps just a little bit too aggressive with those T57 heavies. I mean, it made
Yeah.
sense what they were doing if they had have had someone to back up the T57 heavies.
Yeah, like exactly, and I like the idea of like the kind of surprise trap that they were springing on Run. But the issue was like they're against Batchats, so they need to be faster than the Batchats or closer than the Batchats to actually kind of catch them, and they're not. You know, they were further back, and well, that's why it didn't work. So well played, little execution there on towards those two T57 heavies by Run, though. If Run had been like a little bit indecisive at that point and, and you know, just tried to poke the T57s or something like that, it wouldn't have worked. They needed to go all in there, and because of that, they took it out.
Exactly right. That's the first time that we've seen Run actually commit to anything, to be honest. So good little turnaround for them, and I'm sure we'll be seeing that coming out here on the replay. And really, let's see how many shots come into Run from anyone apart from the T57s. Currently, none. And both T57s go down with absolutely no shots from Gold Bass going into those Batchats.
Yeah, Cud was the first one to go down, then Cowdywing went down after that. But again, Polholic and Hades also took half damage in that little engagement from Run. So it was 2v2, it was a 2 for 2, but then Run also got an extra tank.
Well, this is where it turned around, didn't it, really? Because I'm not sure what Kumi's actually doing up there on his own.
Yeah.
Especially considering he was on the reload.
Yeah, no reason.
Could have made an argument maybe if he had a full clip available to him.
No reason not to be with your team there, I don't think.
Yes, he would have spotted out some rotators, but the risk was not worth the reward.
Yep.
If you ask me.
Exactly, yeah. Particularly when, you know, Run, they've all got Batchats, so they've all got fast tanks. They can be on you in seconds.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they've got, you know, an E100 on the other side of the map or a T110 E5 on the other side of the map. You know, they're Batchats. They can get to you very fast. So when you're sitting in places like that, it's just not really worth it because there's no escape routes from there. There's just nothing that you can do as a reloading Batchat against a team of mediums.
Yep. Well, didn't look too great for Gold Bass there, but let's have a look first at the stats from that one. See who was doing the damage there for Run. Obviously, I think we're going to be seeing the Batchats ready, really sitting up the top.
Look, the Batchats will be
Run
on top here. I think it will be. Yeah, probably just mainly Batchats. I suppose we did also see the object there do Oh, sorry, the STB1 do a little bit of
Yeah.
a little bit of work.
maybe a
He
bit.
was actually alive at the end, so yeah, there we go. So the STB1 did actually deal 3k damage there for Run. Poltholic in the batch at 3.4 thousand there as well. So can't really complain about that. It's no surprises to see all of those batch outs there from 1 to 7. The T57 heavies, unfortunately, yeah, Larissa dealing 0 damage. Like, again, I like the T57 heavy, but not when you just literally give it to the enemy team.
Yeah.
So...
El Curo managed to get all 4 shots off, but yeah, it was a tough situation for Larissa. And, well, to be fair, maybe if Larissa had got a couple of shots off, that could have turned things around, but...
yeah, it could have helped.
Not enough there in the end for Goldbass, so Run find their second round of the series, currently 3-2 in the favour of Goldbass still. Now heading over to the second half of Muravanka. I mean, Goldbass, they got close there. Do you think they have enough to pull through on the defensive side?
Tricky question. I think on the defensive side, like, really, I feel as though it was just that one play, that one single play there where Goldbass went down. That they let the T57s go down. I don't think they're going to make that mistake on the defensive side. So I'm going to say Goldbass.
Alrighty, let's find out what they're going to pick in doing so. And just across the board, relatively standard.
Okay. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. So both teams going with kind of fairly fast lineups, apart from the T110E5 on both sides. That Tier 10 American heavy, of course, with that nice, strong frontal turret armor. And it's looking like Goldbass going with the FV215B. And honestly, Goldbass, they use the 215Bs really well when they pick them.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that at all, even though it's not a tank, which kind of screams Muravanka to me. We've seen better tanks from Muravanka, but it's okay. You know, it can do all right. I don't think the tank picks here really kind of show any particular cards for either team. Goldbass, they should be able to defend pretty well with that one, with those picks. Probably going to be putting the T110E5 on the hill and the FE215B on the hill. You know, the bat chats and the STB can just do whatever. And equally, I would imagine that Run, we will be seeing, put their T110E5 on towards that cap. And I just don't really think we're going to be seeing a forest push with that T110E5 in Run's lineup. So we'll probably see something, honestly, quite a similar setup to the start of the last game from Run. But instead, they'll probably be putting their bat chats, hopefully, a little bit closer to that flag and to defend out that T1.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see something aggressive and fast from the guys on Run. Again, it seems like on their attacking side, they just waste way too much time. And by the time the fight is taken by Run, they've just really got no time to work with. So if they can get in there, start the fight around 5 minutes, they might have a bit of a better chance in this one, I'd say.
Yep, I think so as well. So, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, guys. But overall, Run looking like quite, you know, not too bad in that last one. They played it quite well overall. And if they can keep on making those aggressive plays, then, well, they might win.
Let us find out now, heading on to the second half here of Muravanka. Currently, Goldbass in the lead, 3-2. But Run have just pulled off a pretty reasonable performance on the first half. So we'll see if they're going to be able to follow that up here and pick up a 2-0 on Muravanka to take us back to a 3-3.
Yeah, we will see. So, Goldbass right here. Just rolling out to some pretty standard defensive positions. Run actually going towards a town, which is interesting. We don't often see teams do that, which... I mean, you know, you can go in the town and hide behind the buildings like Run are doing. Just have to be careful that, you know, you don't get caught out stationary. Obviously, a bat chat, that fast tier 10 medium auto loader does not like to be stationary because it has absolutely no armor.
Not so sure about this one for Run. The Scyther getting straight onto that cap, but he's been spotted out. I'm not sure. Poltholic should have an angle, just opting not to fire yet.
Yeah, so right now the Scyther, oh, he's just been spotted, and yeah, I don't really know why the Scyther thought that would work without a camo net and without sitting in a bush, because it's an AMX 1390, you know, it hasn't got a cloak of invisibility unless you put the camo net on it. And all of these bat chats have excellent view ranges, so really not the best. Not the best there.
Not so sure.
Cowdy Wing, I mean, they didn't lose him at least. The driver's dead, rip, but Scyther will live to drive another day. It still is a gun on the field. Cowdy Wing here in this T110E5. Looks like he's just trying to play peekaboo on the top of this hill with that turret of the E5s.
As you would.
As you would. Yep. But hypo there in that STB1, trying to get a few shots on towards him. And again, we're not seeing a particularly decisive, any particularly decisive plays here by Run, apart from putting their AMX 1390 on towards that 2 flag, which didn't really work out too well. I don't think anyone else has spotted yet. So just some blind firing coming in. And right now, Gold Bass. I'm just taking a look at their tanks, and overall they've got a really tight defensive setup. There's no real one tank that is kind of out on their own for Gold Bass. So it's going to be quite hard for Run to push in towards this. And from the town, they don't have an amazing position. You know, they're going to have to kind of regroup. That's going to take a bit of time. I think Poltholic might be able to spot them, because Poltholic's actually in a very aggressive position in that bat chat. Yeah, we can see, look at him there with those binoculars as well. So he's going to be able to spot lots of stuff. And honestly, could even maybe start firing at Cowdy Wing if he wanted to, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's been sitting in this position for quite a while, and he was the one that would have spotted out that 1390 on the cap as well. I don't think he wants to give up his position by firing at this point.
Yeah.
He's more content just to be that spotter for now. And really, Gold Bass, they're not going to be too disappointed with how this is going, because really, again, another 3.5 to almost 4 minutes have gone by. They haven't taken a single point of damage. They've done a little bit over to Run, but it's just happy days for Gold Bass. They're happy to run down that timer. It's worked for them every time so far that Run's been on the attack, so why change things?
Yep, exactly. So Gold Bass going to be very happy just to sit this one out a little bit and take some time to have a think about where Run are going to be attacking from. But it's looking like Run might be heading towards the flag right now, as we see some of their tanks push towards the edge of the forest, the bat chats and the 1390 there. So they definitely want to make something happen here, Run.
They're trying, and they're trying a little bit earlier than what they usually have been doing. So hopefully that's a good sign for Run here. And sort of said if they can engage a fight around the 5-minute mark, they'll find themselves in a bit of a better spot than they had previously. But already starting off with a very low 1390 is not that great for them coming into this one. Gold Bass, on the other hand, completely untouched for now, and with the heavier lineup as well.
Yeah, so Run right now. Just going to be playing it nice and safe. Match HK edging forward, trying to get those spots on towards. Look, Gold Bass, or rather Run, know that there's Gold Bass members somewhere in this field, right? Because that T110E5 was spotted out, and all of these tanks have the 6 cents perk. So it's looking like we are going to be seeing Run moving a little bit more forward, trying to get some spots across, but all that's happening so far is that Run just getting spotted themselves.
Once again, the 1390 getting onto that 2 flag. Hasn't been spotted this time. Poltholic very close by in that bat chat though, so the Scyther maybe doesn't have much longer to live in this one. Oh, did you see how close that was? Super close. Super duper close. Oh, the Scyther, don't move much further forward. Yeah. He's very close to getting to that spotting distance there from Poltholic, and luckily he eats one with his track as well.
Yeah, and gets tracked.
He is getting incredibly lucky right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
there
spotted.
we go.
See
now
ya,
he's
see
gone.
ya, the Scyther.
He's definitely gone now.
Yeah. You can see all the laser pointers, all the.
Finally, someone decides to take a shot. Larissa picks up the first kill of the game, and again we find ourselves in a very late round position where guys on Run have put themselves in a bit of a corner now. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. They've lost a player already. Gold Bass looking fantastic to close this one out on the defensive side.
Yeah, Goldbass looking pretty good right now. But, of course, Run do still have, let's not forget, 6 Tier 10 tanks alive and kicking. So it's not out of the question there for Run to be able to turn this one around, I suppose. But the issue is if they wait too late to turn this one around, then we could see a repeat of what happened on Himmelsdorf. And, well, Run could leave it and kind of get beat out by the timer at the end of this one. So it's looking like they're finally starting to move to get themselves into a position where they can attack. But I hope for their sake, Jordan, that it's not too late.
Well, I hope so too, because really Goldbass going 4-2 up, I don't feel too good about Run being able to get much on steps, but let's see how this one turns out. Run still haven't decided to pull the trigger, and they really, really have to go, Alex.
They need to go. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, Jordan. We need to see Run push in towards Goldbass. Otherwise, it's just going to get timed out again. Goldbass have 12,000 HP left. Run physically can't deal that much damage with one round of their clips in the autoloaders. So they need to get at least one reload. One reload takes 30 to 40 seconds. In the bad chats, they need to go.
I'm trying so hard to say something nice about Run at the moment, but they're just not doing anything. And finally, they've decided to pull the trigger. It's 2 minutes to go. I don't think they've got enough time in this one to pull it out onto Goldbass, but let's go ahead and see how it turns out. The Batchats making their way onto Helkurai. He's going to take a little bit of damage there, but really a lot of damage going across to Run as well. And the focus fire is pretty good here for Goldbass. Cowdy Wing should be going down momentarily. There he goes. Now the focus onto Machi HK. And not looking too good at all here for Run. They are doing a decent amount of damage across to Goldbass, yes. However, their reloads are going to be coming across very shortly, so we'll see a bit of a downtime again. And after all that, about a minute is going to be remaining for Run to find these remaining 5 tanks for Goldbass. I don't see this coming across very well for them, Alex. They didn't win that trade there, and they don't have much time to work with, and they've only got 3 tanks. Once again, same old story coming out here for Run. I'm not impressed.
Look, what they are going to be doing now, Jordan, is they're just going to be going back to the forest, and they're just going to have a nice long discussion.
Yes.
About their about their next.
I think they've had long enough to have a discussion, Alex. They've probably sat around, I'd say, for about 21 minutes, all up on their attacking side, deciding what they wanted to do before they actually opted to do anything. So, for me, Run, the time for discussion is over. The time for action, well, it was about 5 minutes ago as well. So...
Well, Hypo's got a proxy spot card right there, but
that was devastating. Is an AP versus tier 10.
But it's still a Batchat 25T. They're still both
Does the
roughly
tier 9 weigh the same?
I'm sure they weigh roughly the same. I mean, that's why it's called the 25T. You know, 25 tons.
Yes.
So, I guess, but right now, Run just getting eliminated there by Goldbass. So 4-2 after that one. And again, indecisive, really missed opportunity for Run, I feel.
Yes. Not much to say, really.
Not much to say.
It's the same exact story as what we saw in Wilmberg, the same exact story that we saw in Himmelsdorf, and now coming over to Moravanka, and then finally Steps after that. I think Run are just going to do the same thing.
Oh, Steps. Run is so going to do the same thing on Steps. But look, and it's interesting because the one time that we saw Run, right, do really well right there on Moravanka was when they were super decisive. They went right on towards, you know, Goldbass.
Yeah.
In that attack, in that defensive half, on towards the Goldbass T57s. If they just did that more, then absolutely they'd be golden, you know?
Yeah, well, you could say they'd be almost golden bass, but at the moment, their Run, and it hasn't been running along too well for them. And the Scyther, I mean, yeah, it didn't start off well there for Run, but come on. You can't be letting it go this late.
Come on.
They did, like, what? Maybe about 1,000 damage in 8 minutes.
Yep.
First shot of damage, really, around the 2-minute mark from Run onto Goldbass. So it's just way too late. Just playing yourself out of the game.
Simple as that. And I'm not too sure whether that is Run's shot calling or, I mean, what exactly went wrong in terms of why they don't call those shots, or whether it's just a team decision, a team consensus that they don't push in until 2 minutes in.
Well, it's bad. It needs to change.
It's not great. It's not great at all. then they, they push in. They're like, oh, guys, our late push didn't work. Let's just go back to the forest, okay? Look, I'm not feeling too good, right? Let's just have a think. I need to think about this, please. Like, I mean,
Savage Alex. Oh well. That was that there for Muravanka.
I'm
Let's
sorry,
go back
Ron.
and look
I
at
love
the
you.
battle stats. And I mean, again, nothing too particularly surprising coming out there.
maybe they're just stat padding.
Maybe.
That could be what they're doing. They could be gunning for the MVP of the season. They could be
For the longest games ever?
they could just be trying to to make sure their stats look the prettiest this season.
Maybe.
Which I suppose is valid in a way.
Well, it's not going to be valid for County Wing or the Scyther.
Oh.
14 shots in the T125 and not a single one managed to do damage.
He was spamming.
Yeah,
and then
I
he just got
understand this,
rushed,
but
so fair enough, I guess. But not the best for Mr. County Wing, and he contributes to the T125's low damage, low win rate.
Yeah.
But 2-4, moving on to steps. Jordan, look, Gold Bass, we've seen them on steps. You know why I love seeing Gold Bass on steps each time? Is because each time we see them on steps, they always do one of their pushes that ends up in like 800 damage getting dealt to the entire across the entire team when they do the boost.
When they do the boost. Oh well, hopefully we're going to get to see that again. But I'm hoping we'll see Run on the defensive side first, because if they're on the attack, I don't know.
Lorraine.
I don't know.
Lorraine,
Yes,
I'm loving
Lorraine
it.
indeed.
So Goldbass going to be going with the Lorraine. Apart from that, fairly standard, fast lineup. Run, we're going with the IS-7. I like the IS-7 more than I like T125, to be quite honest, because it's not a T125. So Run,
Fair enough.
I'm liking their lineup overall. A bit of heavy. They could actually do a really nice two-flag push with that lineup. Work well. But whether they will or not, I don't know. They are actually on the defensive side though, so yeah, it's interesting.
Well, they have picked up both of their wins on the defensive side so far. They haven't actually won one on the attack. So it could be seeing a 4-3 here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Steps going to a 1-1 again. It's not really a very strong map for either team. Probably a little bit better for Gold Bass, but they have been banning it out a little bit as well, so maybe they're just not too comfortable on it. Although up against these guys on Run, I'd say they're the better side on Steps, but still feels like it's going to be a 1-1, I'd say.
1-1.
Yeah.
1-1. Yeah, I reckon a 1-1. It sounds about right, to be honest, because like looking at Run's lineup there, they've got a pretty good setup for the defense. And I mean, I like Gold Basses. I like the arty. Whenever someone picks an arty, I gravitate towards it.
Well, the arties have actually had a pretty decent time throughout our region so far. I mean, they haven't been particularly, like super impactful, I suppose, but they've always been able to get in there and do a bit of damage, and they do have a better than 50% win rate across all of the artillery.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. When you pick a tier 8 artillery, the idea is it should always do a lot more damage than a tier 8, like light tank or medium tank or tier 8 heavy tank that you can pick it like. So it's good in that regard, in that it can really contribute to the damage of your team and really help take down enemy tanks. And Lorraine, if it gets a good shot on towards something like a bat chat, then you're laughing. It's going to deal 1,200 or so damage and do a lot of damage. So the Lorraine, of course, is not the best arty for getting splash damage. It doesn't have a large splash damage radius.
No.
For those that don't know, it's not an M40, something like that. But if you do manage to get the connecting shot on the Lorraine, then it will definitely hurt. So.
All right. So 1-1. We'd say going to be here towards a 5-3 in the favour of Gold Bass after Steps. But, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see anything really crazy coming out here. Like, if we go to overtime or a tiebreaker after yesterday, I'd be like, okay, fair enough. Seen it before. And like, we predicted 5-3 here. You predicted 5-3 to Gold Bass. I predicted 5-3 to Run. Yeah.
So it's tricky. Anything could happen, I guess. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it go either way, Like, both of these teams, they can obviously take games off each other, and if Run actually play the attack, all right, if they actually attack on the attack, then yeah, absolutely, they can take games off Gold Bass, but it's just been a little bit tricky for them to do so up until now. So Steps, we might see them do it. You know, Steps attack. Honestly, Steps attack actually does favour sort of the more like laid-back attacking playstyle, particularly if you're going for that one flag attack.
Not unless you're not if you're EO Gaming and B Gaming.
Well, exactly. Not if you're.
You just jump on the cap and you're golden.
Whew. Seriously, for those that haven't watched that didn't watch that game yesterday between B Gaming and EO Gaming on Steps, or those two games.
Yeah.
Put it this way, you can watch both of them in 4 minutes.
You can watch both of them in less time than it takes Run to decide to go for an attack on the attacking side. And I'm not even joking. It took probably like 4 minutes all up for both of those. Anyway.
Oh, anyways, there you go. But that was exciting stuff yesterday, and we can only hope that Gold Bass and Run can, show us that.
All right, here we go on to Steps. Does favour the attacking side just a slight bit, but really a relatively balanced map. And let us wait and see how this one is going to turn out, because getting down to the wire now, it's important for Run to be able to pick up this defensive side. They've been okay on the defense, just that offense, the attacking side, letting them down a little bit. Gold Bass, though, making their way over towards that one cap.
Yeah, there we go. So it's looking like we might just be getting that one restarted for now, but I mean, taking a look at the tank picks and where they were initially going to be rolling out to, of course, that artillery piece on the attack. You know, we do see Artie sometimes just hanging back on the attacking side and hang back near the attacker's spawn.
Yeah.
But if they do decide to push up to the rail tracks, then it's not actually out of the question to see the Lorraine push all the way up to the kind of the back end of the one flag area, you know, the back end of that little open field there.
I mean, Gold Bass have generally been pretty good about pushing the artillery up with the rest of the team as well. So definitely not really going to be surprised to see that Lorraine heading up in the same direction as the rest of the tanks there. So, I mean, hopefully getting off to a good start in this one for Gold Bass. You know, maybe if they can get a good shot with that artillery, might be able to get something going. But certainly, they've looked okay on the attacking side most of the time. There was that little error on Muravanka with the T-57s, but even then, like, it did feel like they were in it with a chance.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It was certainly still very close up there on Muravanka, even with those T-57s going down so fast. But, I mean, like you said, they have looked good, honestly. Like, I've been quite impressed with Gold Bass's play today overall. We've seen them, you know, a little bit shaky in the past. But they've been picking some interesting tanks, you know, those FVs on Himmelsdorf, which I think really worked well. And, I mean, the Lorraine here on Steps, I think it can definitely have a big impact also. So, yeah.
Definitely can. Whether or not it will remains to be seen. I would... Well, I'm glad, to be honest, that we're not seeing Run start off on the attacking side, because I didn't think they have much chance. But back into the map, it seems. And it looks like everyone's moving this time, so that's good. And once again, Gold Bass will be making their way up towards that one cap.
Okay, there we go. So, Gold Bass right now, moving up towards the one cap. And it's looking like Hypo has, well, stopped to get one shot across. I don't think, yeah, that was just like a blind one. So not going to be hitting anything there with that Lorraine, but Gold Bass looking to do like a standard attack with that. And Run, look at this on the defensive side. They're pushing super hard on the defense.
Why don't they do this on the attack?
Yeah, exactly. Surprising. Very surprising. But right now, Run are actually going to be spotted out. Well, Matchy HK spotted out at least.
Ina's holding pretty far back there in the bat chat, so we'll be able to spot out this big rotate, but it's going to need to get out of there pretty quick. Smart hasn't been spotted out just yet, so good result there for Gold Bass. Looks like Podholic might just sit himself on the cap. No, slowing down for the moment. Gold Bass, though, utilizing that information to really rotate their positions up over towards the northern end of the map now, is really more so opposed to the western side. Surprised that Hypo's not going to push straight over those train tracks, actually. Feels like that
Yep.
would be a safer spot than where Hypo is currently.
Guess so. It's looking like right now, Hypo in that Lorraine 155 is going to be sitting just fairly well back, and Hina's actually just been spotted as well. So Hypo is going to be moving through now. Yeah, this is a good spot. This is a really good spot for the artillery right here. Very hard to kind of get in there as any attacking tank. So Hypo's just going to be very, very happy sitting down there, but unfortunately he's aiming the wrong way because all of Run are behind him.
He'll figure that out soon enough once they get spotted. I'm surprised Goldbass haven't actually put someone on the cap yet. Wouldn't be a bad idea, I would think. They know where a lot of those Run players are, or were.
Yeah, they did get lots of spots on towards them, so kind of confusing that they didn't put themselves onto the cap. Although the issue, honestly, that is the issue with picking Artie on the attack here on steps, is that Hypo here can't put himself on the cap. So effectively, Goldbass have to, that was just a random blind fire shot, but Goldbass have to put one of their tier 10s on the cap. So they have to put a bat shed on here, which isn't great. You know, it's like you effectively, whoever's on the cap is probably going to take some blind fire shots, and you don't just want to be giving the enemy team free blind fire shots on towards a bat chat. That's why it's often done with an RU-251 or an AMX 1390.
Well, 80 seconds now on that cap timer for Goldbass. Hypo still yet to really have an impact on this game, despite 3.5 minutes having gone by.
That ricochet.
That ricochet indeed. But damaging the track of QME does reset the cap, even though he doesn't take any damage himself.
So it's looking like right now, Run are just going to be pushing up a little bit towards Goldbass, at least towards that one flag, to try and get some eyes on towards it. That's all they need at the moment. They just need spots. If they manage to get the spot out on towards QME, then, well, then they're golden. At the moment, it's not going to be happening. And Matchy HK is just taking a lot of damage. I think the artillery contributed to that.
Perhaps it did. Still, once again, Run playing this one very slowly. I mean, they've got about a minute to play with, but if anything to go by, if yesterday is anything to go by, we'll be seeing things go right down to the wire here. It does look like Goldbass will be moving their way forward, and they've completely been spotted out here. Poltolic not in a bad spot, finally just being spotted out now. Might get rushed down by a couple of these bat chats, but I dare say these bat chats should be taking a bit of damage, although they're not at the moment, so this is a pretty good start out here for Run. Poltolic just going to be going down. Keith, though, he gets absolutely smashed. I'm not sure who that was from. Maybe the artillery, but it seemed like it was way too far through its reload for it to have been Hypo. Having said that, though, now Run are under a bit of pressure. Goldbass really responding well to losing that first tank. They've managed to do a fair amount of damage over to those guys on Run, and Run have already lost a couple of tanks as well.
Yeah, this is looking very good for Goldbass right now, although they have managed to get themselves off the cap. So Run at least did get the cap reset that they were gunning for. Cowdy Wing moving right out in the open. Hades should be able to get some nice shots across on towards him with this T110E5. Misses the first one though as Cowdy Wing and Koa clamping down around Larissa. Larissa should be going down very, very soon.
Yeah, but not before the Object 140 of Matchy HK is going to go down there. Larissa will get at least one more shot off here. Doesn't manage to land it though, or at least doesn't manage to penetrate it. So not ideal there for the 113 of Larissa. Still, it's been a pretty good round coming out here for Goldbass. They don't look like they're in any position to lose this one. There's only 3 tanks left alive here for Run. I think Hypo might have just got another good shot across to that STB1 of Cognac Wine. Does feel like that artillery coming up pretty useful here for Goldbass.
Yeah, it's looking like it. As Goldbass right now are going to be looking to finish off the last 2 members of Run. Only an AMX 1390 and a half HP STB1 left. Cognac Wine not going to be looking too good in that one. And actually, I know the Scyther. Maybe we'll try and go for the Artie. Ooh, nice ram.
Yeah, it looks like he is going for it, but that's probably not the way to do it. I don't know what he was expecting there.
He just drove over a rock. Oh yes, TD mode. Go Hypo, go!
Oh, this is an easy shot. Bam.
I love it. I love it.
Fitting way to end that series there between Goldbass and Run. And to be honest, I think that's probably the longest 5-2 I've ever witnessed. Run really not running around too much.
Yeah, well, there we go. A good way to end it. A solid defense there from Goldbass. A great use of artillery.
Yep.
And, well, just a nice attack on the, well, it was kind of like a defense on the attack of steps,
it almost
that
was.
makes sense, because they just got themselves on towards that cap, on towards that flag. They put the pressure on by sitting the batchat on the flag, and Run's response was just not quite there. You know, Run pushed down the rail tracks. They got caught out there after they took down one of the Goldbass tanks, and after they got caught out, they'd just taken too much damage. And Goldbass in the perfect position to repel that.
Indeed, across the board, it was a very good series there for Goldbass, but let's go back and look at that one on steps. This started off okay for Run. They got the first pick.
Yeah, not bad at all. So, let's see. Poltholic there in that object. 140 did end up getting taken down very, very quickly, but Goldbass responded perfectly with an extra kill there. Hina in the bat chat taking down Cut. Not a bad maneuver at all. And that T110E5 worked okay, actually. It was kind of like just a little bit of bulk for the Goldbass. And Larissa, I think, ricocheted 1 or 2 shots, which is exactly what you want from a 113. And the IS-7, I'm not really too sure what that did for Run. Like, not much.
Suppose we'll have to wait for those stats to find out. Hypo, though. The final kill of the series.
Look at that. Brilliant.
Can't complain.
Brilliant kill there by Mr. Hypo. So that was it, I guess, for Run's run against Goldbass. Looks like they'll need to go down and fish in the kiddie lake next time, because they can't catch the big fish.
Definitely not. They weren't really in any chance of catching anything, to be honest, in that one. They just didn't seem to be in it really at all, even though they picked up 2 rounds. Not very convincing rounds, if you ask me. Still, though, let's look at the post-battle stats there for steps. And
surprised to see the Artie not
yeah,
higher.
I am too.
I thought the Artie actually did a little bit more than that, but I guess not. As, well, Batchat's right up the top in the STB for Run, Cognac Wine. I mean, Cognac Wine, he's always a good player, generally speaking, and a good individual player for Run. Always up the top there, which is not surprising. And Cowdy Wing at least did 1.7k damage in that one. So, yeah, okay, the Lorraine dealt 1,300. I mean, you can't really complain about that. Not the worst. And put a lot of pressure on whilst doing so. I suppose there just wasn't really much for the Lorraine to deal when the rest of Goldbass were kind of decimating Run just with their regular guns. So, yeah, well played.
Good stuff coming out there from Goldbass. Definitely, I mean, it's pretty irrelevant because they're already out, but
yeah.
Nice for them to pick up a win, get that little bit of pride, I guess. Playing for the pride, really, was what they were doing there. Twist, of course, also out at the moment from the season, so really, just playing for the fun of it.
And Run. So
might have been why we saw some more obscure picks coming out.
That might have been, and that's my only thing. It was just a bit of a shame to see Goldbass go for those like slightly more interesting picks, the FV 215B and 4005, when it's kind of already sealed. The deal's already sealed for them, I guess. So, oh well.
Okay, well that's all wrapped up now for our first match up of today. And we are going to be going to a very quick break, but stay tuned. We've got Twist versus Meltdown coming up just after this break.